This is it. This is somebody up. Yeah. ASA of 500. Kind of throws you listening.
We can warm up with either sand or a bunch of egg and ABC. You have your choice. Sand. Higher. I never hear you guys.
Saw Ronnie sing last night.
Huh? I didn't hear him singing it. You know, he tends to get a little shy at times. Yeah. Oh, we'll take it straight through. Everything freeze for just like 2 beats or so. Yeah. Huh? Right. Time he gets 5, you do one. Huh? I know, but I mean an exaggerated still. I don't mean just one of those. I mean, right? Right. Everybody. Freeze it, huh? Wait. It's in my pocket. Oh. We'll give you a stroke.
Get your heart out.
Yes, it's the same nerve the Beatles touched low these many years ago. Only this time it's a group of black teenagers fronted by an 11-year-old soul brother. Fronted by an 11-year-old soul brother. Scott Osborne, ABC News, Jacksonville, Florida. Yes, it's the same nerve the Beatles touched low these many years ago. Only this time it's a group of black teenagers fronted by an 11-year-old soul brother. Fronted by an 11-year-old soul brother. Scott Osborne, ABC News, Jacksonville, Florida.
Let's work on the It's Your Thing into There Was a Time. Just see how that fits together. Has anybody thought about making that transition?
Jackson, I understand you maintain a certain discipline within the group and all its activities. I wonder if you would describe for us what those disciplines are, what rules they're to follow.
Well, the rules that was made by the family and I was mostly to make each boy do his own chores around the house. We'd have each man help out doing the...
Let's start that over because we're going to have the phone in the back.
Mostly do engagements when they have more time. But most of the time they're in school. We have a few. You have to have a few because that's the only time you can hold a group together by rules. And they must be followed to the fullest extent.
What are those rules?
Well...
And
just to, like most kids would like to run around and slip off or something like that while they're out on the road. And we made it a rule that they shouldn't go anywhere without maybe a bodyguard or something like that, which we have. So it's a good idea.
What about education?
Education is fine. My boys would like to finish their education to the fullest. And right now they're going to private school so they can deal in this sort as well as show business too.
How do you combine the two, the requirements of going to school with show business?
Well, the right people, such as Motown recording studios, and Motown people, the Motown family behind them. It's a wonderful thing. You can't go wrong.
Excuse me.
Okay, you want to tell me about who can tell me something about Andrew Jackson?
Huh?
Tell me something about Andrew Jackson. Who was he?
He was our 7th president. 17.
What?
17. 7.
Do you know anything about him as a person?
1, 2, 3, 4.
I forgot what year was he born in?
17 something, I've forgotten too. 17, only under 1700 and something. And he was governor in about 1720,
Was that
1827 or somewhere around there. Don't put that in because the teacher has to be accurate.
was that his family that was in the grave with him?
Well, the family wasn't in the grave with him, but he and his wife were buried side by side there.
Richard Jackson, his wife, she lived across the street before he married her and took her land too. That's how you got all that land.
Well, I read to you about their story. She was married before, wasn't she?
What's the Donalds? She was bad. She played. That's what the book said.
Yeah, I know, but
She
they
cheated.
didn't say that it was proven.
But that's what that meant. Well, they said it was true.
Gossip. There was gossip even in those days. I think we did enough.
That's awesome.
Come to the rescue. Listen to this now. No wonder they say the California schools are bad. But they aren't really.
What kind of audience do you play to? I mean, who do you think is listening when you perform your music, and what do you try to tell them? Or do you try to tell them anything?
I mean, when I'm singing?
Yeah.
While I'm singing?
Yes.
What do I tell them?
I mean, who do you think is listening to your music? Describe your audience.
Well, maybe some guys from television or some. I don't know.
Wait a minute. Millions of people have bought your records. So who do you think your audience is?
Well, the majority of them are black, Majority of the audience are black,
Describe them for me.
Describe them.
I mean, would you call it, how would you describe your music? Well, would you just say it's popular music, or is it, real soul? Is it funky or what?
Call it bubblegum soul. That's what they call it. It's like funky music and soul.
How do you go about, let's say, you got a piece of material like ABC. How do you go about putting it together? Just go through the steps that you do to record it.
We put the background together first, or we might put the lead track on vocal lead on first. Then we sing behind his lead, like that.
How many many times do you go through a number to get it before it is, the final version that you put on the record?
Well, we go through it about 6 times, 6 to 8 times before we, start recording it. And we learn it as we record it, the record. We learn it as we record it.
Where does your music come from?
I don't know, it's... Huh?
Creating a new thing.
It's a new bag that's out. It's our own style that we put out, that nobody else has.
How would you describe your style?
I would describe it as it's more like it for a young audience, like, for younger people. I say about from 5 up to about 16. It's like,
how does it differ from other popular music?
There's no difference.
Well, if it's your own style and it's something new and it obviously is very popular, what goes into it?
We couldn't tell that, but it's like we try to make it, common and plain as possible. Not too much, and not, simple as possible.
How do you do that? Explain for all those people who don't know.
Something like bubblegum soul. It's not too much soul, and
it's more like a soul and pop thing.
It's put together.
Michael, who did you start listening to get your kind of singing style?
James Brown, and I say James Brown and Sammy Davis Jr. because I like the kind of things they do, like fast music.
What did you borrow from them?
Well, I do most of his dancing on stage, and I just like the way Sammy sings.
Did they teach you anything when you listened to their music?
No, I just watch them on television.
What do you describe the performance that you put on?
What I do?
Yeah.
Well, most of my songs are fast.
I mean, what do you put into it?
Well, whatever I sing, that's what I really mean. Like I'm singing a song. I don't sing it if I don't mean it.
How would you say the audience reacts in most cases?
How do they react?
Yeah.
Like last night.
They acted wild. But they happy to see us, and we happy to see most of our fans in Nashville.
How did you first form this musical group?
Where?
How? Where? Who put it down? How did you get into the music?
First, before it was the Jackson 5, it was me, Jackie, and Tremaine. And we sang around the house all the time, like we didn't have nothing to do. Then we added Michael. Then Marlon picked up on it. And my father kept us rehearsing. And we knew someday that, we'd be discovered. And then Diana Ross picked up on us. And we're here where we are now.
You knew someday you would be discovered.
Because we worked very hard. We practiced 5 hours a day.
Where did you perform?
Where did we perform?
Yeah.
Before we became professional. We did little things for the mayor and a lot of benefit shows And sometimes we'll do talent shows at the schools.
New York, at the Apollo Theater in New York.
No, I mean before you got professional.
Right.
You were there before you were pros? How did you get there?
Like the booking agency. Father got me with the booking agency, and they called us a lot of shows and stuff in New York.
Who told them about it?
Well, they heard that we were doing, wasn't tours, but we were like traveling in this van,
Doing about
Right.
4 shows a night.
Nightclubs, too.
So how long have you been together?
Chip might want you to pretend too. Chip. Oh, he's obviously.
No, sit down. Now, I would like to show you all the people on TV. One of my pictures I do. I showed it to the Playboy magazine.
Why could I tell you?
You don't do it. You feel me, big facts. We will now talk about what you fellas would like to do and don't do. Look at this. They made up these plans.
You ready to play for real?
Miss
You
Vine?
want to play now?
Huh? Sure, I'll play. You have a game?
Miss Vine?
Right here.
Chest, hit you in your chest. No, but I know how to
Show
play.
y'all a really great picture.
Just reviewing. That's all.
Chess game. Yeah, maybe. They gonna recover it. We need cash. Then we have Joe Cocker. Tom Jones.
Same thing right here.
Otis Redding. Herb Alpert. His name is Herb Alpert. This is a good book.
Can't understand it.
After you.
What?
That's the balcony floor.
Can I sit? May I sit?
Anything that you want.
This scares me to death, your voice don't seem to mind it. Not look, is it?
That's good.
Well, I know, but you
It's
have...
Esquire.
Oh, that's right. We had a few newspapers, people in that with it. You better think hard about yesterday, because that's what you're gonna talk about.
Okay.
Not a movie magazine.
But what?
Heaven's sake. I haven't seen anything that looks important.
Yeah, take that.
I'll take the
Playboy,
Black
that would
Star.
be it.
The Mirror.
And then you can take that. Don't you remember this gentleman on the street? Oh, you do too. You went over it so carefully, the number I sent you. Well, now, if you don't look at me and you don't talk to me, how am I going to relate to you? Tell me something about what you saw yesterday.
Well, we saw Alvin C. York statue.
Yes, and what else? Who was
We
that?
went-
Take a look at this book.
Alvin Senior.
Somebody told you about it, not in that book.
I know it's not in the book. He was in the army. Captain. Sergeant.
What else did you say?
Went to Andrews Jackson's house.
What did you say? The house. Would you like to live there?
No toilets.
I like that little meat house he had.
Smokehouse.
The
Smokehouse.
How did you like the kitchen? Think you could eat any food that came out of the kitchen as it stands today? No. I don't think so. But what do you think of the size of the kitchen in comparison to the size of the house?
It's too little. The kitchen was sort of small.
He had.
What did he have? Right there on his desk, don't you remember?
Oh yeah, he had the golden telephone.
Bring a pillow.